It's not hard to see that people, especially the younger generations, have grown with an overly strong sense of individualism. And how could they avoid it, honestly? We've been taught from an early age to pursue individual merit, even if it comes at the expense of someone else's loss. Education as early as grade school has been absorbed by meritocracy, which is the thought that you are only worth of good things if you have accomplished enough in your life. This term was coined by Michael Young in the 50s when he wrote the satire The Rise of the Meritocracy. In this tale, he criticized the former for perpetuating inequalities, which in our day and age have only become more noticeable. Cyril Burt, a British psychologist, analyzes the competitive nature of meritocracy in vocational guidance, and he states that the predominating element in the choice of occupation is the wish or the whim of a parent and of the child. In other words, he says that what drives someone to dedicate to a certain profession is an irrational and selfish act, in hope for a quick financial return. With ongoing problems such as war, all types of discrimination, from discrimination due to sexual orientation, racism, and sexism, among others, as well as the unfair distribution of wealth and the rise of mental illnesses such as depression and anxiety, we can see an issue that ties all of these problems together. Whether we like to admit it or not, it's apparent that the individual aspect of humanism has evolved into hyper-individualism. Bell Hooks said, "The worship of individualism has in part led us to an unhealthy culture of narcissism that is so pervasive in our society." We can see this culture in current capitalistic practices, such as gated communities and offensive displays from the rich to make themselves feel special. We can also see it in ourselves, as many people refuse to take a stance over social problems like the genocide in Palestine. We're so far removed from our society that we'd rather allow ourselves a little treat from companies that profit from said genocide. As I said previously, hyper-individualism has stemmed into different social problems. On the one hand, we have an alarming rise in anxiety and depression caused by loneliness in today's world. According to the World Health Organization, there has been a rise in mental health disorders by 13% over the last 10 years, and it's no surprise, especially since the pandemic saw the world isolate, which made it hard for people to connect again. On the other hand, we have a growing economic inequality that only seems to get worse each day. As the world seems to get closer to burning down, we see the more privileged live in a bubble as the rest of the world struggles to make ends meet, living in inhumane conditions. Most of these rich people are indifferent to what doesn't affect them, and in a world where the 1% richest people dictate the life or death of civilizations, indifference is legal.